Today I have got part 2 of my complete animated Scooby-Doo ranking, starting out with number 28 with Chill Out Scooby-Doo from 2007. This movie was decent, but it felt like there was two movies going on at the same time in this movie, and that just didn't help, especially where it was taking place and jumping back from two different locations, so that wasn't entirely a pleasant thing to see, and so that's why this is just barely out of the bad movies, is partly because it's a What's New Scooby-Doo movie. And then number 27, we have Scooby-Doo Curse of the 13th Ghost, which would have been ranked higher for one reason, and that's that the final ghost was actually a real ghost like the original series, and it ended up not being that way, where it was just another person in a mask again. So that wasn't that great of a movie, and that's why this is number 27 on my list. Big Top Scooby-Doo is number 26. And this was a really good movie. I liked the different things that they did in this movie. And the giant twist at the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen the movie yet. But the twist at the end is what pretty much saves this movie from being a disaster. Even though it's not bad to begin with. If they hadn't pulled off that twist at the end, this movie probably would have been in the bottom, or near the bottom. And then number 25, we have Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery from 2014, which is the first of two Scooby-Doo WWE crossovers. This was the better of the two. Felt like an actual mystery, and it used the wrestlers really good in cartoon form, so that was really well done. Number 24 is Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold from 2018. This is a really great superhero crossover for Scooby-Doo, and I'm just a really big fan of Batman, so this is pretty much the reason why this is somewhat medium on this list. It wasn't too bad of a movie, but it wasn't perfect. Now, if they would have had Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill back for Batman and Joker voices, this would have been a lot higher on this list. But because you didn't have them doing those voices, that's why this is somewhat low on this list. And at number 23, we have Scooby-Doo Mask of the Blue Falcon from 2013, which is a good throwback to the Scooby-Doo Dynamite Hour from 1976, so I really like this movie. And the way they start the whole movie off is kind of interesting, so I do really like that. And how they kind of integrate Mystery Incorporated, which was just finishing up when they were doing this movie, I believe. And the way they integrate that with the Blue Falcon Dynamite episode they did for Mystery Incorporated, that was really well done for this movie. And so that's why this is number 23 on my list. And then we have at number 22, Scooby-Doo Music of the Vampire, which is relatively good for the most part, except for this one musical number where they jump from different scenes and there's people in different parts of the movie, and they keep jumping around from them, which is normal in movies, but they do it way too much in this one musical number to make that entertaining, and so that's why this movie is number 22 on my list. And then number 21 is Scooby-Doo Moon Monster Madness from 2015, which had a really interesting idea, but it wasn't executed great. I like the whole alien idea, but if they would have done it as a little bit of a somewhat of a throwback to Alien Invaders, I would have probably much more preferred that, because you guys know that's one of my favorite Scooby-Doo movies. But for what they could do with this movie, it was still pretty good. It isn't really a favorite of mine, but it's one I'll watch from time to time if I ever feel like watching a movie. And then at number 20, we have Scooby-Doo Frank and Creepy from 2014, which was a really, really well done movie. And it's a great one for Halloween and a great one if you want to throw back to the original series. So there's a lot of good things out of that movie, and it's why that's number 20 on my favorites list ranking. And then number 19 is Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers from 1987. And looking back, at first I didn't really care for this movie, but just thinking back to how it was, this one wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. And it also proves something that they tried to do in Mystery Incorporated, and that was get Shaggy and Velma in a relationship. Well, the weird thing with Boo Brothers is the person behind the voice to the female character that was like crazy in love with Shaggy actually ends up voicing Velma in Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders, Zombie Island, which is those 4 movies. And so there's the connection you get between Boo Brothers and the Mook animation movies. And so that's why Boo Brothers is number 19 on my favorites list. Not one I'll go back to too often, partly because the movie itself is so dark. It's not scary dark, but it's just like you can barely see what's going on in the movie. And so it doesn't make it too enjoyable to watch. But that is number 19 on my list, and we will get through the rest of the final stack of movies in the next video, so you guys can tell me your thoughts on part 2 of my ranking in the comment section below, and just like subscribe for more, because I will do more in the future.